In studying this statistics class, there's several ways to interact with it. One of the things I'm going to show you here is you should have in your curriculum, your course, this e-text chapter links. You should be able to see that. Now, I'm going to add more to this. So right now, I've just kind of, this is all I've shown, but this may look a little different later on once the class begins. But we have this e-chapter links folder. So notice how it breaks out the chapters of the book. So this is where you actually can find your textbook if you didn't want to actually buy the book. This is a good place to find the book. It does have more information than PowerPoints will. So if I click on chapter 1 e-text, it'll bring up the book. And this is kind of page 1 of the book that we would be looking at. If you look at the arrows down here, I can go to page 2. And notice that page 2 is actually the first section of the book. Okay. If I go over to the table of contents, you can also scroll down through there and you can move through the sections this way as well. So notice how there's also like chapter 2. So you can actually click chapter 2 there as well. And you have, it'll take you to actually the beginning of chapter 2. So what we have again is, the table of contents. Again, if I want to go back to chapter 1, Introduction to Statistics, click on that. And I have the beginning of chapter 1 there. So that's useful to us. Another useful tool that I'm going to bring out is also what's called the study piece here. So as I'm reading through this book here, coming through the pages, again, where you've been, where you're going. So you should have a little bit of knowledge of statistics just based on your, where you are in your life. But then this book is going to take you to a heftier understanding of statistics. So as I move into the book, you'll start to see, there's going to be a lot of vocabulary in this book. One of the things you can do is like when it comes to vocabulary terms, a lot of times there'll be like definitions brought out. What you can do instead of highlighting the bold word, you can copy or highlight uh, the the text part of it. Let's see if I can get that to work for us here. Okay, and get that highlighted. When you do that, once you highlight something, on my computer it actually prompts me for a new flashcard. So if I hit new flashcard, notice how it says add to deck. Since I don't have any decks, what I can do is make a new deck and I can name a deck. If I want to name it chapter 1, I can, or name it 1.1, however you want to do that. If I hit next, notice that, and again, this can be moved out of the way. You can kind of drag it around so you can actually see the actual book again. So the front of the card, then the back of the card, if I click here and hit type in the vocabulary data, this gives me the definition of data. Information coming from observations, counts, measurements, or responses. So again, those are a lot of the vocabulary words there that we have to be able to understand as well. If you don't understand some of those words, then you have to kind of look up those definitions of those words and they have to be in the realm of math definitions. A lot of this stuff is math. So if I hit save, it'll create that vocabulary, that flashcard. If I go to this next definition and try to highlight that, again, it give me this prompt, new flashcard. Notice that the deck, chapter 1, and I can put, let me see what that was here, statistics. And, spelling is important here. It will probably grade it wrong if the spelling is not correct. So make sure you check your spelling. I've hit save there. I can create then some flashcards for chapter 1. So if I go back to table of contents, if I go to say chapter 2, descriptive statistics. So if I go through here and I'm reading it, and I come across definitions like a frequency distribution, is a table that shows classes or intervals of data entries with a count. So I want to try to highlight up to that spot there. If I hit a new flashcard, notice I don't necessarily want to add it to chapter 1. If I hit the plus button, so notice how it gives me the name of the deck, and if I want to, I can call that chapter 2. And then if I hit next, then I can actually put the definition, frequency distribution. I'm not a great speller, so if you find this very tedious, you may just want to use make your own little notebook. So if I hit save there, I've got that going on. So if I close this out, so if I hit study over here, this one here, what I can do is I can click on, chapter 2, and I can practice all items, which I don't have a whole lot at this point. Hit next. And it says, it's a table that shows classes or intervals of data, since I haven't done a whole lot. And notice that I misspelled frequency pretty badly, so I'll have to go in there and maybe edit that card as well. Okay, so I may have to go back into this area. May have to close it out from here. All right, so let's go back. Let's just say I click chapter 2. Doesn't matter where you kick, I don't think. So if I hit table of contents, or actually I want to go down to study. Notice I have this flashcard. If I want to, I can go under and actually, if you click on it, I can actually try to do my spelling more correctly there. Frequency distribution, that looks better. Okay. So again, I can go in there and just click on it, and I can edit the card. And notice how you have this little star. I can actually make it a favorite, because again, you can like view all cards as well. Well, actually just chapter 2, but so you can kind of narrow down those in many ways here. So frequency distribution, notice how it actually gives you then you'd have to come up with the actual definition of this. And so if you set the definition in your head and you came up with something to this effect, is a table that shows classes or intervals of data entries with a count of the number of entries in each class. If you came up with something to that effect as your definition, then you're good to go. Okay, so once I'm done there, I can kind of close that out and kind of index out there. So I'm going to stop there, but that gives you a little idea that if you want to use the e-chapter text links, you can use that as a way to read the books. And you also can make flashcards, and those flashcards can be used on those unit tests. They won't be able to be used on the final. We'll cross that bridge probably more with a review than the actual flashcards. So, but yeah, that you can be able to use these flashcards and things like that for your actual test. So I will stop there. Hopefully you found that useful.